In this video, we're gonna take you through one of these neighborhoods in Oceanside. It's called Rancho del Oro / Ivy Ranch, but going to show you a few different spots where you're gonna be shopping, what's nearby, what you're gonna be doing if you're living up here. Right now, we are in the main park, and it's kind of, Rancho del Oro is, they got actually a ton of parks, but they're not like, this is like a big park. Most of the parks out here are like these smaller pocket parks. There's a lot of tot lots in this little section of Oceanside. And one of the main things is you can still get a house for relatively affordable. Now you guys are, a lot of people watch these and make comments like, that's not affordable. Like what I'm talking about, mid eights, 840, 850 is affordable for here in San Diego, where you're getting, 1,500, 2,000 square foot. So we're gonna show you all those neighborhoods and let you know what it's all about, what it would be like living right here in this section of Oceanside.
Oceanside as a whole is a really large city, and it's kind of thought about as kind of a coastal town, Oceanside, but it also goes way further east. Where we're at now in Rancho del Oro is kind of right in that central area of Oceanside, and it's Rancho del Oro and Ivy Ranch are kind of a big portion of Oceanside. It's a master plan community, or a couple of master plan communities that take up a ton of Oceanside real estate. So it's sprawling. It gives you a ton of options in here just because there are so many homes in this area.
And the last little neighborhood that we're gonna show you, it's actually a newer development right here. It's pretty cool, right in the center of Rancho del Oro as well. So stay tuned for that. And before we jump into the neighborhoods, I'm gonna jump into the map and just show you the lay of the land, show you where we're gonna be heading, where we're at right now, so you get a little bit better visual of what to expect when you're thinking about moving here. Now we're back in the studio. I'm gonna dive into the map and show you Oceanside as a whole, where we are right now, give you a really good lay of the land so you have a really good idea of where this area is and kind of what to expect if you're thinking about moving out this way. So let's jump into the map. So here we are in Oceanside. Here's downtown San Diego. This is where you're flying into down here. Just follow the 5 freeway all the way up north to the very north section of North County, San Diego. All this out here is Camp Pendleton, and then you start getting into Orange County up here. So we're right dead smack in the middle. Look, it already popped up right here in the center part of Oceanside. So you're not coastal, but you're also not super far back. Right here, you're just right in the middle. And we'll show you, like I said, all these areas right now. Let me show you, dive in real quick, just to give you an outline of where we are. So we're standing right now. That intro part was in this park right here, right on the edge of Rancho del Oro. We're going to explore some of these neighborhoods in here. We're going to bring you down to this area down here where you have all of your shopping needs. You do have the Planet Fitness. There's just a bunch of little spots down there. We're going to bring you up into this section up here, right around here, where there's a new condo complex. So just show you all around and let you know where this area is. Here's the San Diego, or the SoCal Sports Complex. When we mention a new park, this is where it's going to be, kind of right in this area. It's a huge open space area. You can see it right in the center of Oceanside. And right now, like I said, they use it for soccer and whatnot, but they're building a new park. Here's a little new pool, which I'll show you some drone footage of in a little bit. And then this section right here, this isn't any housing. This is where you have some of the companies within this section of Oceanside. So the title is Performance Institute. You have Gilead Sciences. You have Genentech right here. It's like a big old campus. And then one of our favorites, Belching Beaver. A nice little brewery, but there's not too many breweries in this section. But there you go. Here's the park we're at. We're just going to pick a little spot right over here and get some directions from Ivy Ranch, Rancho del Oro, to switch it up there to the Oceanside Harbor, just to give you a good idea of how far it would be to go to the beach and all that kind of stuff. So you're looking about 16, 17 minutes, so not too bad. And this whole section too, you can see the pier right here. This is where you have a lot of the downtown Oceanside. That's where a lot of that stuff is going on down there. So you have a few new hotels down there. You have a bunch of new shops and restaurants and whatnot. And then all up and down Coast Highway here is where you have a bunch of new spots and restaurants and all that kind of fun stuff. That's where it's really growing in Oceanside. So you're a quick shot down to there as well, probably about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on traffic. So you're right dead in the center of the 76 freeway to the north. This is where you have a lot of the big box stores, which we mentioned later, and the 78 freeway and the 5. So when we do bring it up later, you could see if you're working kind of down in the central area of San Diego, this area might be a little bit far. You're going to be having to go to the 5, or you could cut across all the way to the 15, on the 76. It's just going to take a long time. So just keep that in mind. It is pretty far north in San Diego County. So we're at the Rancho de Oro Park. This is the one with the YMCA you can see right behind us. And, it's got the pool and the gym and all that kind of stuff, all the normal YMCA stuff. You have MLK Park, which is down the road a little bit. And it's actually pretty cool. You have a big skate park, a bunch of ball fields.
Hockey rink.
Hockey rink, yeah, which is weird. Not ice hockey. Definitely not ice, especially today. It would have melted. It's about 2,000 degrees out here. But then also there's a sports park, which has a bunch of soccer tournaments and stuff throughout the year. And then there, they are also building, there's another pool and stuff up there, but they're also building a newer park. So it's kind of in the works. So there will be potentially new parks coming to Oceanside as well.
So we're walking through one of the streets in Rancho de Oro. A lot of them are very similar. Either just style is similar, also kind of the size of house and what you're looking to spend is very similar in a lot of the different villages. Here in Rancho de Oro, you're kind of looking in that 1,400 to 2,200 square foot is kind of the main wheelhouse of size here. There are a couple villages that are a little bit
Watch out for that
bigger.
tree.
And some single stories that are a little bit on the smaller side too. So there's a bunch of options, but it does tend to be a little bit smaller homes.
And then price points in here, you're looking like $840. One just sold right in this neighborhood that we're walking through right now within the last month or two. But within all of Rancho de Oro, I would say 90% of the homes are under that $1 million mark. Only I think 2 or 3 out of the last 3 months of sales or so have been over that $1 million mark. Obviously those ones are in the 2,200 to 2,500 square foot range, so a little bit bigger, whereas in here you can get some of those smaller ones for a little bit more affordable. And then once you scoot over to Ivy Ranch, there's a little section as well where there's some homes in the 740, 750 range. So you do get a little bit more. It was like a 4-bed, 2.5 bath. I think it was about 1,600 square foot. So, and here you go. Here's one of the tot lots. There's a ton of these. How many did we
41
say? 41. Did his research here.
9 parks, 41 tot lots.
Yeah, so there's a lot of these little sections just kind of cut out through the neighborhood, which is pretty unique. And they're all part of this Rancho del Oro HOA, which takes care of all these. There's like over 2,500 homes in here, so they're taking care of the tot lots. They recently redid a lot of them. They're taking care of the kind of the general common area. So HOA is relatively inexpensive here, but you will have that if you are living in this little neighborhood.
Just to keep in mind, a lot of these neighborhoods in Rancho del Oro have street sweeping days and times, so definitely check out those signs to make sure you're not parked in the wrong spots. That's not a normal thing or common thing, let's call it common, here in San Diego. If a community has street sweeping, usually there aren't signs for, you'll get ticketed if you don't move your car. So this is just one that you will. So kind of the style in Rancho del Oro is a lot of that like California style stucco siding, and then also tile roofs. Where you get into this neighborhood, we've showed a house in here kind of recently where it's a little bit more of that East Coast kind of feel. Floor plans are a little bit more choppy in this section, but for the most part, it's a lot of that California Mediterranean feel.
And as much as we love making these videos for you guys, we also love to help you with your real estate needs. So if you're thinking about moving out here, you got questions, all our info is popping up right now. Hit us up, call, text, email, whatever's easy for you. We got your back when making the move here to San Diego. And we could even talk about different areas. If it's not this spot, there's some other areas that are very comparable right here in San Diego that might work for you. So now we're at one of the shopping centers. This area of Oceanside is somewhat convenient, where you do have this big shopping center right at the corner of College and Oceanside Boulevard. You do have a few local spots. You got Enzo's, you got a little Draft. I think it's called The Draft, is a little sports bar right up the road.
Chins right behind us.
Chins, yeah, little Chins, little local Chinese spot. You have Upper Crust Pizza. Now, we're on the West Coast. A lot of people coming from the East Coast are gonna rip on our pizza, my wife included, but I like that, you know, I like upper crust style pizza. So if you're in town, go to upper crust. I've had many of birthday parties, not at this one, there's one in Vista too, but nonetheless, if you've seen any videos online, you've probably seen Oceanside up and coming, you know, Oceanside, you know, got to see what's going on. I mean, we've even made those videos too. This is a little bit older section of Oceanside. The kind of downtown Oceanside is to the west a few miles, probably 3-4 miles or so. What do you think, 3-4?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go with that, 3 or 4 miles. And that's where a lot of the new infrastructure, new buildings, new hotels, new restaurants, new shops, all that. So it's a quick shot where you do have like your quick little shopping trips, Albertsons, you got the Planet Fitness behind us. If you want any of that kind of like super local, you're gonna be going to, or not, you don't have to, but go check out kind of the downtown Oceanside area.
And then like Chris mentioned, it is pretty convenient to get to some of the big box stores, not just kind of these small little centers. Go up to the north to get to kind of some of those big box stores, Walmart, Targets and things like that. South, you've got Costco, you've got Home Depot. So those things are probably usually around 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from most of Rancho and Ivy Ranch.
Now, we were able to get in the gated community. Shh, don't tell anybody, but we made our way in. This is St. Cloud, and it's a bigger townhome slash condo community right here in the Rancho del Oro Ivy Ranch area. And the thing about that is, yes, there are condo options, which typically in a normal neighborhood you would find are gonna be a little bit less expensive, but all these, because they're built fairly recently, so they're new and they're
Bigger.
good.
Yeah, and they're also on the bigger side too, yeah.
And so their price points are very spot on. Not exactly, but they're pretty darn close to even the detached homes in this neighborhood. So it's kind of like, do you want newer style townhome with a nice pool and clubhouse area, or do you want that detached home? So those are like the two options up here. And so if you are pondering Oceanside and you do want to check out that kind of downtown, what's happening all over there, kind of what's new, go check out that next video popping up, give you a little more idea of Oceanside as a whole and what you might be checking out and enjoying if you are living here. Even though it's a little further back, you'll probably be going to those places too.